Hello, my name is Lovely Province, and in this presentation, I will talk about the writing skill. Writing is more than expressing oneself thought or feelings. It is an interaction between the writer and the reader. When we communicate, we do it in order for people to understand our message, to change their minds, to invite them to act or to have a reaction. This is a very important skill since someone else will be receiving what we have. And for that reason, we always need to think about the what, about the information. We are the ones who know it, and the way we present it is the way the people will receive it. And when we talk about the people, we are making reference to the audience. We need to be specific. We need to provide or share a message that is directed to the specific audience so they can understand it properly. But what is difficult here is the way we will present it when we write. Writing is a little bit complex because, unlike the speaking interaction, we cannot see the reader's reaction. We cannot be there to answer any doubts they might have. And that's why when we write, we need to be as clear as possible. And there are many other aspects that need to be considered when writing in order to make it effective. And as teachers, it is our responsibility to help students feel engaged, to help students write properly, to help students see the importance of this skill. We're going to see some approaches to student writing. Process and product. This is one of the approaches to student writing because there are too many. And there are too many of them that the students that we as teachers could use for them to adapt. But what is important in here is that we help them get used to writing. So we have the process and product. When we talk about the process, we are making reference to putting together the whole work we ask them to do. It is the attention given to every stage of writing. And they are pre-writing, editing, redrafting, and the final version. Every time a student writes a piece of work, that needs to be considered. And when we talk about the product, we are making reference to the aim of the task and the end product. But the most effective here is the process. The process, since in this way they have to apply all of the steps that I already mentioned. And with the process, they will learn, even though it takes more time, but they will learn. They will be aware of what they are not doing right. Okay, another approach is the genre. This represents the norms of different kinds of writing. In other words, it is the way formal letters, papers, advertisements, poetry, and other piece of writings are written. So this represents like the rules or the norms that we need to follow in order to write a specific kind of text or writing. We also have as another approach creative writing. In this kind of writing, the student feels free to use any type of, of genre and the subject he prefers. He will feel free to write as he wants. He can follow the structure, but he will be the one who writes. what he wants. And this will be good. It's going to be good for them because they are the only ones who know everything they want to say. Nothing will stop them from going beyond, and that's good. Their imagination increases, their creativeness improves, and this is something good. And after they finish writing all of the things they want to, they can work on the things that need to be fixed. But the most important is that their creativeness is being what matters is that the ability for being creative is working. Okay, is in process. We also have writing as a cooperative activity. Cooperative writing is creating a piece of writing with the students all together. It is like when the professor is showing a big screen or a big board and he starts writing. He starts with a sentence and he has all the students help or contribute with more ideas. And that's a really good technique because they can see how the piece is created. And this is my favorite one. We also have building the writing habit. Many students do not like writing since they say not to have anything to write about. So in this case, our role as teachers is to give them interesting tasks to do. We need to give them enough information for them not to feel empty. And also, if we give them a model of a piece of writing with the genre we want them to use, it will be better. We also have writing for learning. This is assigning a writing task in order to enhance grammar. We have writing for writing, and this is assigning a task in order to help students master a specific writing genre. We also have that all of these are very important to consider as approaches. We can select the one we prefer. Let's continue. Teaching written skills in the EFL context. Teaching written skills is not complicated. We just need to pay special attention to the what. We need to know what we are going to teach exactly. And in this case, we need to consider the mechanics. The mechanics of writing, since these represents the center of the skill. If we write without following the mechanics, then we are not writing correctly. So to teach them how to do it, we need to show them the mechanics. The mechanics is the letter recognition, letter discrimination, word recognition, basic rules of spelling, punctuation and capitalization, recognition of whole sentences and paragraphs. This is part of the mechanics. How can we teach the mechanics? So we can present the information to the students as we teach them the mechanics, as we show them text in which the mechanics are, as we help them identify, as we present them to them. We need to ask whether they are understanding or not. We can show another text that doesn't have a specific mechanic we want to use, and then we will have them identify whether it is or not and why. And that's a good way for teaching the mechanics, whether this text has a comma, whether it has a question mark or not, or a semicolon. We can say, hey, what's missing here? And because of the fact that this punctuation mark is not here, the message is different. The message is understood different. So when we teach the mechanics, we can also let them know how different the message could be, how the meaning can change if we do not pay attention to that. So we have to teach them and at the same time make them be aware of that. So It's not only presenting an information. We need to make sure they are understanding. We have the key principles for teaching writing. The first one is to understand your students' reasons for writing. So there must be a balance between the goals of the teachers and the needs of the students. Yes. So if the student wants to do something but the teacher wants something else, they do not agree, then none of them will be satisfied. The idea is that all of them are balanced. Provide many opportunities for your students to write. As we help the students to write as much as possible, they need to be reflecting on the process. Yes, they need to reflect on the process. Yes, because it's not just about writing and writing and writing and writing. They need to be aware of the way. They need to think, am I using the mechanics? Am I being organized? They need to be aware of that as they write. Number 3, make feedback helpful and meaningful. If we encourage self-checking and peer review quick, guided by checklists, the feedback will be helpful and meaningful. Yeah, so if we have them check themselves, they will see what they are not doing right, what they are doing wrong as well. And this will be a good feedback. They can also correct themselves. That's self-assessment. And in the last one, we have clarify yourself and your students how their writing will be evaluated. The students need to be aware of the criteria used to judge their work, and this must be explicit. When they know how they will be evaluated, they will prepare better. Hey, the teacher will evaluate or assess the grammar, so they will pay attention to that. The vocabulary, I need to use it. The punctuation, I need to pay attention. So it's important to that because they will know the score for each one of them. Okay. How to assess writing? Well, we can use a rubric to assess the following aspects: the grammar, the vocabulary, content, linguistic accuracy, organization of ideas, and other aspects depending on what they are asked to do. If the students know about this rubric, they will pay attention to it, as I already mentioned in the key principles of teaching writing, or in the last point of the principles. And when we are assessing, or before we assess, we need to also have we need to pay attention to the weight of the scores for each section. Like, we need to give like more scoring for those aspects that are a little bit more difficult, that are more important for them to know. If there are aspects that will be evaluated, but some of them are more important than the others, we should score or give a greater score to those items that are more important, that are more essential for them to know, that require them to study. Yes, we cannot just assess and give the same score to everything, or to give more scoring to those easy things and less to the difficult ones. It's not the idea, because they have to prove they are prepared for that difficult task. And well, we have some common classroom activities. We have matching tasks that lead the students to letter recognition and help them develop that skill. This is part of the mechanics too. If we are going to assign an activity, it has to help them use the mechanics as they write. So they enable the students to develop effective recognition habits. So this is letter recognition, and we have writing tasks that lead to letter formation and meaningful writing of words. Yes, they need to practice how to write some letters if this is new for them, if this kind of writing is new for them. As they write them and so on, they start creating new words and words together in order to create meaning. So this is all I wanted to present. It's important as teachers to consider all of this when teaching how to write. Thanks for your attention.